Colonel Wolverton asked his parachute troops to kneel with him in prayer. He told them, do not bow your heads, but look up so you can see God and ask his blessing in what we're about to do.
Signs of having grown beyond the consent of the governed, to get government back within its means, and to demand recognition of the distinction between the powers granted to the federal government and those reserved to the states or to the people. And these will be our first priorities, and on these principles there will be no compromise. Our founding fathers here in this country brought about the only true revolution that has ever taken place in man's history. Every other revolution simply exchanged one set of rulers for another set of rulers. But only here evolved the idea that you and I have within ourselves the God-given right and the ability to determine our own destiny. Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same.
No nation in history has ever survived a tax burden that reached a third of its national income. Today, 37 cents out of every dollar earned in this country is the tax collector's share. And now, our national debt is 1.5 times bigger than all the combined debts of all the nations of the world.
The fodder upon which our government has fed and grown beyond the consent of the governed is the tax system, which has only one real consistency, and that is that any levy once imposed is never removed. We were told in our lifetime that the income tax, if adopted, would amount to 2%, never more, and that it would only be applied to the wealthy. Well, today, in this lifetime, we've seen that law grow from 31 words to more than 440,000 words. This progressive income tax was formed by Karl Marx 100 years ago. Today, with no one using the term socialism to describe encroaching control, we find 1 out of 7 of the workforce on the public payroll. In 15 years, a 50% increase in public employees has been matched by a 170% increase in their pay. 1/4 of our people now entitled to government-paid medical care, socialized medicine, if you please. We find that the federal government owns and operates more than 19,000 businesses covering 47 different lines of activity. It ranges from the distilling of rum to the manufacture of surgical and dental equipment. They operate tax-free, rent-free, dividend-free, in direct competition with our own citizens. All of this has led to the creation of a collection of internal powers and bureaucratic institutions against which we, the citizens, are virtually helpless. James Madison, speaking before the Virginia Convention in 1788, said, "Since the general civilization of mankind, I believe there are more instances of the abridgment of the freedom of the people by gradual and silent encroachment of those in power than by violent and sudden usurpation." 3.5 months before his last visit to this country, Nikita Khrushchev said, "The American people will never knowingly vote for socialism, but under the name of liberalism, the American people will adopt every fragment of the socialist program. We can't appeal to the American working man, he's too well fed. But when through inflation, America has priced herself out of the world markets and unemployment follows, then we will settle our debt with the United States. We can't expect the American people to jump from capitalism to communism, but we can assist their elected leaders in giving them small doses of socialism until one day they will awaken to find they have communism. We have a tax system that, in direct contravention to the Constitution, is not designed solely to raise revenue, but is openly and admittedly used to regulate and control the economy and to level the earnings of our citizens.
Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the founding fathers. How many of us realize that today federal agents can invade a man's property without a warrant, they can impose a fine without a formal hearing, let alone a trial by jury, and they can seize and sell his property at auction to enforce the payment of that fine? Now, it doesn't require expropriation or confiscation of private property or business to enforce socialism on people. What does it mean whether you hold the deed to or the title to your business or property if the government holds the power of life and death over that business or property? And such machinery already exists. Freedom has never been so close History will record with the greatest astonishment that those who had the most to lose did the least to prevent its happening. You and I know and do not believe that life is so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery. If nothing in life is worth dying, when did this begin? Just in the face of this enemy? Or should Moses have told the children of Israel to live in slavery under the Pharaohs? Should Christ have refused the cross? Should the patriots have conquered Bridge have thrown down their guns and refused to fire the shocker around the world? The martyrs of history were not fools. You and I have the courage to say to our enemies, there is a price we will not pay. There is a point beyond which they must not advance.
It is no coincidence that our present troubles parallel the intervention and intrusion in our lives that result from unnecessary and excessive growth of government.
You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of men on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.
South and north together, calling west and east together, calling all the clans together.
Up close and personal. Nick!